Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the 3 Under Par podcast. This is a golf podcast where
Little White Ball is live.
I'm your host, ScottyTee, and I'm joined by my co-host, KJ down below, T-Bone over there. What's going on, boys? How's it going?
Chilling, working.
T-Bone,
Ready to rock and roll.
T-Bone looks like you deserve a Corona right now. Chilling with that beach background on Zoom.
Yeah, I could use one. Corona's a little sensitive right now, so we'll go with Dos Equis.
Oh,
But,
okay. Hey, you're still trying to find your beach, though.
Absolutely.
Always. Yeah, didn't the Corona beer sales go down dramatically when all this stuff started going down? Like, tough break. Really tough break. Never mind. We'll talk about golf. Since this is a golf podcast, this is a busy week, I would say, in the world of golf. BMW Championship wrapped up. We're recording a day later because KJ and I played in the Houston Am Qualifier yesterday, so we'll update y'all on how that went, and then we'll also preview the Tour Championship. So we got a lot to talk to, so we're just going to dive right into it. Follow us on social media at 3 Under Par Pod. The number 3 Under Par Pod, Twitter and Instagram. Subscribe, rate, and review. Give us a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts, as well as write us a review. And we don't have any more hats as of now, but maybe some more merch coming soon. We'll talk later. More about that offline. So let's start off with the Houston Am. I'll put descriptions or timestamps in the description below on where we talk about certain things, so you can jump around and listen at your leisurely pleasure. But we're going to start off with the Houston Am Qualifier that KJ and I played in yesterday. We played at Hearthstone Country Club, which KJ, let's just say, has already made a name for himself over at Hearthstone in a good way. KJ, what were your thoughts about the qualifier? Because this is the first one that you played in a long time, I would say. Since you had pro status for a while, you weren't able to play in amateur events.
Yeah, I liked it. It was a windy day, and I played like absolute shit. But it was fun to get out there, and just like the Texas Am was. It was cool to see like the setting. It felt like actual golf again. So it was good to kind of go through those motions and all that. But it was a rough day, to say the least.
Yes,
rough day.
So just off the offset, I qualified. KJ did not. I don't know how else to put it. Those are the facts. But I played pretty well. KJ was struggling out there. Man, you were so close though. One off.
Yeah, and I missed a putt that was probably no more than 18 inches. It was good.
Man,
it was solid.
Especially so, KJ and I, we were about an hour apart from each other. I teed off on the back nine. He teed off on the front nine. So we didn't even really see each other throughout the day. Generally, sometimes you can see each other, but we had kind of some friends out there that were going back and forth between us. We were also texting back and forth. Shout out to Gardner. Shout out to Dumpy for being on the bags for us. That was a ton of fun. I think Dumpy being on the bag for me definitely helped. But yeah, overall though, I thought it was a pretty good time. Man, I agree. Hearthstone, that was probably some of the hardest I've seen Hearthstone play, because KJ was infamous for playing about 40 rounds going into July at Hearthstone without being a member there. So they forced him to join. So we've played a lot there. That's the reason why we decided to play at Hearthstone. And that was by far probably the toughest I'd seen it play. Greens were rolling great, but it was windy, and we generally don't see it windy out there.
Yeah, you usually don't get a lot of wind, and it was in a different direction than you normally get. I was hitting shots literally everywhere. I bounced one. My first tee shot, I toe hooked so bad I bounced it off the range. Like, I bounced it off the range. It's like 40 degrees left. And then I hit a questionable out of bounds drive on 3 on Jack, which I later found out at the end of the round was not out of bounds. But the rules official was very dickish about it. I know how much you love the USGA.
I don't like rules officials. Let's just put it that way. We don't.
I knew I should have played 2 balls there. I knew I should have. So that one's on me. But that was. I felt like horse. The rough wasn't as penal as Jack. I hit a shot on Jack. I had like pitching wedge into Jack. And of course, just phenomenal toe gripper. Can't even explain how much you can hook a pitching wedge, but I did that plus another 5 yards. And I'm like 4 feet off the fringe, and we can't find my golf ball. I'm like, I watched it down right here. I had 6-inch rough, and my ball was sitting on earth. Like there's no grass under my golf ball. I was just like, that's terrible out there. I've never seen it like that ever, and I've played there a few times.
It doesn't help when the mower goes down a couple weeks beforehand. One of the guys we were playing with, he was saying like, man, even the rough around the greens, like this is pretty tough. And we're just like, yeah, the mower broke a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah. They have 2 big mowers, and they kind of rotate, on their maintenance days, they rotate which 9s they're taking care of. So Jack got skipped. So it got like 2 cycles of not getting mowed before we played it on Monday. So it was pretty brutal.
Dumpy mentioned something to me, which I didn't realize at Hearthstone. Apparently, all 3 9s out there have different grass on the putting greens. Is that true? Do you know anything about that?
I have no idea. I just know Wolf's greens are different. I don't think Jack and Horse are that different. But Wolf always seems different greens to me. So that makes sense.
Right. Yeah. I mean,
They were running them fast, which was great. I liked it when they're running fast, but it makes it even more difficult when that rough's long because you can't check anything. You just got to play the tumbler and nice and short.
Yeah. Even when I went off on 10. So generally we play 1 tee up out there. We were playing pretty much all the way back. There were a few tees that were still up. A few different angles we're just not necessarily used to seeing. It kind of throws you off sometimes. And like even my first hole, I'm sitting in buried rough, sitting like, I had no idea how this ball is going to come out. Even on my second hole, I sculled it over the bunker into the water on 2 Jack. Yeah.
I heard you get up and down for bogey, though. That's a hell of a bogey.
For double. It was for double. Yeah. I look at Elliot and I was like, that was a really good up and down. Like, I'm happy with 6 right there. That could have been really bad. And then, I don't know. That was I was so nervous, I'm not going to lie, going off the first few holes because it's like, I'm not used to playing tournament golf. This isn't junior golf anymore. I'm not used to doing that every single week. But finally was able to hit a few good shots. And when I turned on Horse, that was probably some of the best golf I've played in a while. Like I really couldn't miss at that point. So felt nice.
It's good to have it on Horse. Jackie missed a little bit. Horse, listen to this start. So I was actually, nervous too. I could feel it. Toe roper bounced off the range, barely stays in play. I don't have a backswing, so I chunk hook a 7-iron to get it back out and play, and it's in the rough, like 55 yards, hit it to 4 feet, make par. This poor old guy that I'm playing with goes driver right down the pipe. Hybrid to like 8 feet, misses the putt, makes par. And he looks at me and goes, well, there's 2 different ways to get it in the hole. Second shot, Horse, 2, trees all down the right side. Got a 3-iron. Full-on hosel rocket. Luckily it went through like the out of bounds area on the right and made it to where we filmed that low shot I hit out of there.
Oh yeah, that's why you need to go check out the YouTube video I put right there.
I had 240 in, and it was straight into the wind. I'm like, yeah, this isn't happening. So then I punch out and drop it on the green, and proceed to 3-putt.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3 of Horse. So that would have been my back 9, your front 9. Man, that was the hardest stretch of holes out there because 1 wasn't playing easy. 2, as you just described, is very difficult because you have to hit an iron and then you have another long iron into that green because of a massive ditch. Yep. And then 3 is like a 235-yard par 3 that's going into the wind. It's like, what is going on right here? That's a brutal start. So, yeah. But, I feel like I always like to give credit to those organizations, whether it be Texas Golf Association or HGA, just for putting on those events, especially in the times that we're living in right now. And I thought they did a pretty good job. The course setup was fair. It wasn't impossible. But, the rough being grown out, that's not on the HGA. That's on Hearthstone mower problems. So, but also I've come to the realization it's kind of hard to mess up qualifiers like that. It's more on the –
I don't know. I nailed it.
Well, in terms of like this setup and all that kind of crap that makes courses hard. It's more on the host course than on the actual organization, I feel like. But we'll see once we come to the HGA, or the Houston Am, because they have a little more input on Gus Wortham, which is where the tournament's going to be. But I'll be playing in it at the end of this month. First time, actually, I made it. I've never made it before.
It's at the end of September?
Yeah. September 25th through the 27th.
So, Kyle, you hit a ball that was declared OB and it wasn't, and you missed the cut by one stroke.
Hey-o.
Is that what I heard?
Factual.
Yep. Well, so KJ shot 77, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So 76 would have been an alternate, and then 75 got in. But generally, if you're an alternate, you can get in. A lot of guys, due to work issues and whatnot, if you're if you're an alternate for any amateur event, you're generally gonna get in because people just can't make it due to work schedules and whatnot. But
yeah. So the thing that I think about this, you guys playing in this tournament, I think about how you talked about it earlier, but playing tournament golf when you never do, like Kyle, how many times would you shoot 77 at Hearthstone?
I just played in a tournament out there and beat everybody, literally everybody that played on Saturday. I shot 60, but it was a two ball deal where I got to hit 2 shots when I picked. So, I couldn't miss 60, 11 under there. And then I couldn't tell you if I was hitting on the range before. Scott was already gone. I was hitting on the range before, and the range kind of gets narrow at the end. I was hitting balls off the range both ways with my driver.
No.
40 yards offline both ways.
Oh, gosh.
I was like, oh, shit.
Yeah, because I got out there earlier because I was an hour beforehand. KJ got out there, and I'm like, yo, like, I'm not feeling it today. Just whenever, like, if the ball's going, if it's your usual miss, then it's like, okay, you can deal with it. But when my ball starts going, if it starts fading on me, I like to play a draw. That's when I'm like kind of get a little nervous, and because that way I don't know which way it's going. And so that's why those first few holes when I was playing, the ball was actually drawing and kind of hooking on me. And I'm like, well, that was the opposite of what was happening about 30 minutes ago. So that's it's weird. Yeah, I was kind of shaking. KJ mentioned he was shaking on the first hole too.
Yep.
It's a little nerve-wracking, T-Bone. Scaff, are you thinking about teeing it up in some amateur events here soon?
No. Probably a waste of money and PTO at this point. But
you got to say that PTO, man.
I've got some mental battles I got to fight before we throw my hat in the tournament ring. It's probably been 8 years since I've played in an actual tournament, so not in too much of a hurry. And I actually can't imagine what I don't know. I would be so nervous. So.
I didn't think it was going to be too bad until I saw the email the night before that said absolutely no alcohol for anybody that's playing. And I was just like, now this is going to be real rough.
So that's why you're nervous.
I don't think I've played a round of golf without drinking in like 5 years.
Well, so KJ and I played in that South Texas 4-ball. On the first day of the 4-ball, there was no booze, and let's say we didn't play very well. The second day we had booze and played a lot better. So, I hope nobody from the HGA is listening right now, but it's maybe don't you know there's so many people out there who like either bring pocket shots or they're boozing. Like even for us, shout out to Joe. I played with a guy named Joe. He was really cool. On the first fairway, we're like, hey man, do you mind if we have music? And he was like, no, actually, like I prefer that. So we weren't blasting music like we usually do, but we had some 90s alternative on there, just slowly playing.
No blaring dumpy rap scaring everybody off the course?
No, not this time. Not this time. Man, the third guy we played with though, on one jack, he made an 8. Like it's a hard hole to par, but it's a standard bogey, if anything. Like it's not a difficult hole. And he makes quad.
Talking about three jack?
1 jack.
Oh, 1 jack. Yeah.
Yeah, he made a quad to start the day. We're like, ooh.
Oh.
We might be.
Yeah, the older guy I was playing with on 2 jack. And this guy, he's an older guy. He's a little finicky with the putter, but just boom, 260, boom, boom. Hole 2 jack, snipe hook left, probably out of bounds. He's like, I'll hit a provisional. Second one, dead left with a little draw. Like he's hit two out of bounds. We go up there, can't find anything. Hits a third one, ends up making 9 on that par 4. Ooh. So he was like, yep, that should do it.
That's one hole.
And
like
then then the very next tee, poor guy, very next tee, that's when we got that ruling. He hit it right next to me, like that far from my golf ball. And the guy comes over and he's like, yeah, I was like, that's not, but we did anyways.
Yeah. But
so
it was fun.
So Scott, what the next tournament? It's at Gus Wortham, and it's the end of the month. What's the format? Is it's 2 or 3 day tournament or?
Yeah, 54 holes, 3-day tournament. Stroke play. I mean, so they're having qualifiers. They've had 3 or 4 so far. They got about 3 or 4 left. Taking the 16 guys from each qualifier, and then you have your exempt players as well. So I mean, it'll probably be like 125 player field if I had to guess over at Gus. So stroke play, man.
Is that 3 weekdays?
I think it's a Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Okay.
Event.
That is kind of random to be at Gus Wortham also, but also kind of cool.
Yeah, dude. I mean, shout out to our boy Jay.
Fan of that place.
Yeah, I'm not too. It doesn't really fit my eye. I need to get out there probably at least once or twice to play it. I don't. It used to be at Memorial Park, but then once they redid Memorial Park, they moved the Houston Open there. They moved that to Gus, and I get Gus Wortham because I think it's actually owned by the city of Houston, and the HGA and the city of Houston are almost symbiotic at this point. But there's a lot of great courses in Houston, and they chose Gus Wortham for the
I agree.
Like, I don't want to take a dump all over it because when they redid it, it is massively upgraded when they redid Gus Wortham. But, even the first hole, if I remember right, is kind of finicky. It's a weird, short little hole. Like, You wouldn't expect Gus to host a citywide championship. I use that term loosely, but
if you haven't played there, the name kind of, shows what the course is going to be like.
Who is Gus
There's not
Wortham?
going to be what?
Who is Gus Wortham?
I don't know, but we made a joke last time we played it. There was some sketchy tent in the woods off of hole 4 or 5, and we always said that's where Gus lives. But
dude, that starting stretch right there, those holes go right by each other. So many people are going to get hit into, especially if there's any players out there watching. Like, some of these holes are like that.
Oh yeah, and also not to put any demons in your head, Scott, but I lose sleep over hole 2. If you hit a slight fade, a slight fade, you're in the produce section at Fiesta. I mean, this is the road is just off the rough. I mean, you could be in a Popeyes, you could be in a driver's seat window.
That's true. Same thing with 1. If you're trying to smoke one and draw it around and you hit it straight, that one's gone.
Yeah.
3 isn't a whole bunch better.
That's what I'm talking about, man. Like, why is this host like some poor bastard is going to be driving down the road and just a golf ball is going to be boom nailing his car going 50 miles an hour? Golly.
I hate that start because if there's any wind off the left, I have to actually aim where I want the ball to go instead of aiming down the right because I don't know if the wind's going to keep it over there. So it's also like I have to aim at somebody's Toyota.
And it's lined with a chain link fence is what's, blocking the road. It's,
It's not even like a wooden fence. It's a chain link fence that, like, even if the ball's creeping up there rolling, it could easily roll through.
Yeah.
Also where the infamous car windshield shot happened from a loyal listener, Justin.
Yeah, shout out to Jay.
On 9.
God.
It's over like 100-foot high like mesh. Like, I don't even know how you hit a ball that high and that far offline. Like,
oh man,
it was interesting.
Yeah, but I'm pretty excited. It's nice to qualify for one event, because I tried to qualify for the Texas Am this year, and I was on the number going into 17 and sliced it out of bounds. So this is kind of my redemption to that. Had to get over that little demon in my head. Now the next demon to get by is from Merido last year, where I shot 86, 87. So hopefully I will shoot lower than 86, 87 for the Houston Am this year.
So also I'm curious, KJ, after this qualifier, are you eager to try again, or are you more of fuck it, I'm getting drunk at Hearthstone and playing however I want to?
Did you look at the date? It's hunting season. Started today, baby. Golf.
There's my answer.
Golf is going to be probably through deer season is going to be taking up not so much of my time.
We're not going to see Kyle until January.
Yeah.
At least.
No, I'll be out there. There's always weekdays.
Yeah. Gosh, even last Thursday, Kyle's like, hey, like, we have a 2:00 tee time. Scaff and I are like, we have work. Like, how can we make it? Like, what do you do?
I'm closing up proposals and bids before you guys get your coffee going usually. So, and I can work easily from the phone. So it's almost like, work all day.
Yeah. Well, I'm pretty excited to play in it, KJ. I'm sorry you didn't get it, but, there's always next year, I guess.
Yeah.
But look, if you would have told me that you would have made it and I did, I thought it would have been reversed, to be honest. Like, especially at Hearthstone. Of course, really well. It's just, I don't know. I can't really describe it. It's hard to play tournament golf. I think that's what we learned. And I don't know if I'm going to practice until that point. Like, I might not even pick up another club until that time, because it's either I need to practice full send or just do nothing. And I don't know what I'm going to do. We'll see. We'll play by ear.
Yeah. I mean, I made bad decisions. Like, I actually thought through golf shots like you're supposed to and everything. And I don't usually do that. I'm like, yeah, okay, let's try it. And thinking through golf shots, I made two terrible decisions. I think I made like 3 doubles, and I don't make doubles, those are killers. You can always come back for bogeys. When you're making doubles, it just doesn't happen.
Right.
So the one last comment to tie this up. What's the was there a final wager? Is KJ running 7 miles? Is he taking lessons at Golf Tech? What's the
There is a Venmo with a pretty solid caption on it as well that has already been sent.
Okay.
Well, here, I'll pull it up real quick, because I texted KJ and I was like, that is an all-time comment on the Venmo.
I didn't think it was anything too special, but I don't even remember what it was now.
Let's see.
As I went and bombed again after that at Cinco, and I was nowhere near as sober as I was during the qualifier.
KJ said, I'm done with golf after that shit show. That's what the thing said. So,
dude, I couldn't get anything going. It was just every time, I made 3 birdies and shot. It was just awful. Like, couldn't do anything.
So, T-Bone, to answer your question here, the bet was, so our friend Gardner, he showed up as a Masters caddy for KJ. That's why you need to follow us on Instagram at 300 Par Pod. I posted a picture of it. He was wearing the white jumpsuit and everything, and he said on the back said for Nate, in honor of our late friend Nate Brawley. So that was the bet. The loser has to carry and caddy for the winners now, and it's Gardner and Kyle had to caddy for me and Dumpy.
I thought it was a $10 match play deal.
No. It was that with the jumpsuit and everything. Like, you got to be my Masters caddy now.
Interesting. We must have missed this bet.
I thought it was pretty clear. Like, Dumpy, can you chime in on this? Where is he? No, we'll group text about this afterwards, but I'm pretty sure that was it.
Wow. Things have changed.
Mark and Dumpy don't think that. We thought we were doing $10 a match play point.
Oh.
Because Mark even said, well, I guess I owe you, because he paid for Dumpy's round at Cinco. I was like, oh, shit. Well, I guess I owe everybody, because you went out there and bet on me, and I laid a fucking stinker.
Yeah, Elliot was like, I picked the right horse. Knew what I was doing. You're welcome. So, it was a ton of fun, though. Pretty pumped for Houston Am. So stay tuned for that. Whenever that comes, first week of October, that's when that pod will drop. So let's move on. Unless there's anything else you want to touch on.
No.
The BMW. Okay. The BMW Championship was this weekend. I didn't really watch much of it until Sunday, which was electric, and it delivered. So, because I was doing my fantasy football draft on Saturday, so I didn't really watch much golf. And I was surprised to see how high the scores were. And then all of a sudden, Sunday afternoon rolls around, and then you got Dustin Johnson, John Rahm, essentially the showdown of epic proportions, I would say. I mean, you got the number 1 versus number 2 ranked player in the world. John Rahm was just number 1. I mean, I don't even know how to describe it. When DJ made that putt, I was like, I literally like jumped up and down. I was like, oh, that was so great. And then John Rahm just is like, oh, here, DJ, hold my beer while I just make this incredible putt. I mean, what were y'all's thoughts on the BMW Championship overall?
So just to chime in here, I didn't watch a whole bunch of it. I did see the putt, but you're just not even going to mention how Joaquin Neiman was leading after 10.
Who?
Joaquin Neiman.
I know. When I saw his name at
leading
the leaderboard,
after 10.
When I saw his name on the leaderboard, I was like, son of a bitch. Like, we were just talking about how he's disappeared, and now he's at the top of the leaderboard at a course that was playing like a U.S. Open, man.
Yeah. Well, that's golf.
This tournament goes exactly to what we were saying last week. I was talking about, gave so many examples of how DJ does these amazing things, but somehow also comes up short. I mean, and a lot of it I don't think is totally his fault, like what happened on Sunday, but I mean, the birdie putt under those circumstances on 18 was expecting DJ to make that. You guys hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I got you now.
Yeah, so I think it was – no one was really expecting it. It was so clutch and amazing he made it. And then next thing you know, in typical DJ fashion, it's just short of what he needed. He loses in the playoff to an absolute bomb from Rahm.
Did you see where that putt started? Did you see the line on it?
Yeah.
How do you even guess that's where you need to play it, like, exactly? Like, it's sideways. Like, unreal.
Yeah, 66 feet or whatever it was. And I think you go back to earlier in the tournament on Friday or Saturday, John Rahm got a one-stroke penalty for picking up his ball without a ball marker.
Yep.
So
it's unreal.
That's pretty funny to watch a pro do that. But I think it's almost like a golf gods type of, you feel like there was maybe some impact there with him winning there in the playoff, knowing that he was given a one-shot penalty for picking up a ball marker. That's always real shitty to see, but maybe there's something with the golf gods there.
Yeah, to your point about the golf gods, it's almost like they just slid the rug out from DJ for the win. And even though John Rahm played incredible over the weekend, people are already betting on DJ to win at Winged Foot. People forget the U.S. Open's like 2 or 3 weeks away. Like, it's right around the corner. So DJ probably early betted for the U.S. Open. I didn't realize how long we talked about the Houston Am. Probably way too long. But since we only have 8 minutes left on Zoom, maybe we should just jump forward to the Tour Championship. If y'all are cool with that?
Yeah.
Love it.
Okay. Yeah. So if we remember, I think I called it a clown show or circus show. This is where DJ is starting at 10 under par. John Rahm is at 8 under par. Then it goes 7, 6, 5 all the way down to even. So for guys like Cameron Smith, Victor Hovland, Billy Horschel, Cameron Champ, who are starting at even par, they're 10 shots behind DJ. Tour Championship at East Lake, final of the FedEx Cup playoffs. Who do y'all like? Do you like DJ to win? Do you like somebody else coming to win? Also worth noting that Webb Simpson just straight up skipped a playoff event and is already in 4th place at 6 under. So shout out to him. But who do y'all like for Tour Championship?
Yeah, it's hard to say who you actually, is going to win because it is Tour Championship, so it brings in extra, a little nervy sometimes. But you got to weed out almost, 6, 7, 8 guys. There's no way starting at even par with all of those guys at the top who can play golf. 6 strokes is a huge deal. In a tournament. You can lose a tournament by 1 stroke, right? So, I mean, it's almost like I'd be surprised anybody that is, -2 on the way down. It looks like there's about 15 guys would just have to absolutely crush it.
Right.
For sure.
I would say I really like JT, but riding the heat, you got to pick number 1 or number 2. Starting off, I just don't know DJ's track record out there.
Right. Well, one person
I like JT as a pick. I like JT as a pick a lot. I know he's starting 3 strokes back from DJ, but
I mean, if there's anything we learned last year, Justin Thomas was at that 10 under, and he blew that lead away after day 1. So with golf, you're never gonna know. One person I kind of liked at 3 under was Rory McIlroy, but his wife is actually expecting a little golf gossipy thing, so he might get the call that his first child is being born and might not even finish the tournament. But congrats, Rory McIlroy, on getting to be a father for the first time. T-Bone, who do you like?
With this scoring set in advance, you would think it would make picks easier, but I almost feel like it makes it more difficult.
It does.
Because you think DJ's got to be the favorite, and because he's winning going into the event, but any person can have an off week. And one off week, I mean, it doesn't matter if you have a lead or not. If he was hypothetically going to miss a cut in 1 week, but he has a massive lead, it doesn't matter. So it's hard to balance that lead that someone has, but also trying to think of who's actually going to play well. So I agree with KJ. I think anyone pretty much at 2 under, that's pretty tough to climb. That's a pretty tough task for people. God, it's hard. I'm confused. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, because there are also plenty of big names who I would say are missing, like a Brooks Koepka isn't here.
Yeah.
Or even, Matthew Fitzpatrick. He's my boy. So, even the guys who are even at 4 under, Harris English and Daniel Berger, Sanjay Hideki, and Bryson, I don't necessarily even trust those guys to make that big of a jump to come in just because they don't have that track record. I do want to give a shout out to Mackenzie Hughes for making it to the Tour Championship for the first time. He had a really good, awesome reaction. I was just thank God he gets to play in the Masters now. That's a big deal about making it to East Lake. But Tebow, man, I'm going to hold your feet to the fire. Who you got?
All right. I think I'm going to go with someone. I'm just going to go totally against what I said. Let's go with Weber. I think he's well rested. I think that was a ballsy move to take off last week, and I kind of like it. I'm going to roll with it. We'll go with Webb Simpson.
I love it. One thing that's great about East Lake, well, first off, it's going to be hot. Down in Atlanta at this time of year, it's going to be hot. You got to be spot on with the irons there. I would say it's definitely a second shot golf course. And Webb Simpson is one of the best iron players in the world. So that's why, I like Webb there. Who'd you go with, KJ? JT?
JT.
Dang, that's what I was going to
It's going to be hard not to pick Rombo after that performance there.
Yeah. Man, I don't know. Because
I'd go Morikawa second. Honestly, even though he hadn't played it, I'd like to take T-Bone's boy Xander, but he's at 3, man. That's just a lot of strokes.
Yeah.
I know it's 4 days, but that's a lot of strokes.
If there were if this was an even playing field, I would have a different pick. I think Xander would be a good one. Bryson, I think starting off at an even playing field would be a really good one. Even with guys like Victor Hovland and Cam Champ, who are just can overpower golf courses, it seems like, or at least Cameron Champ can. Victor Hovland, he's just goofy. But
it's because he's stoned.
You know what? I'll go number one. I'll go DJ just to say that I did. Damn, I don't think he's actually going to win, though. That's the problem. I'm going to go Morikawa.
I think that's a good pick. I think it's a good pick.
PGA champion, most recent major winner. Didn't play great. I think he's trying to soak in the fact that he is a major championship winner now. He's had that time now. I think he's going to shine because he's also a great ball striker and a great player. I think Eastlake will set up well for Mr. Morikawa. Yes.
So we got 3, 4, and 5 locked down.
Yeah.
Right.
Simpson's a good pick. I like that.
One thing that I took away.
We've seen what Morikawa can do when he starts getting lit. He's just starts steamrolling.
Yeah.
Right. I was really impressed with John Rahm about his mental game. We talked about he's just a crazy person. You never know what you're going to expect from John Rahm. Seeing him, the way that he battled, like even when DJ made that putt, he wasn't rattled or anything. And then obviously he made that bomb. So it seems like he's starting to get his mental game in a little bit better. Wasn't he working with like a bomb diffuser at one point to help with his mental game?
What?
Yeah, man. He was working with like a army bomb diffuser at one point. Just like, because if you're trying to defuse a bomb, obviously you have to stay calm under pressure. So
sounds like KJ could have used one of those sessions on the driving range before his tournament.
Brutal.
Yeah, I agree.
Man, I don't know about y'all, but this episode went by really fast to me. So we hope the listenership enjoyed it. Not sure when we're going to get cut off, but we gave our preview for the Tour Championship. Let us know who you like for the Tour Championship. Either comment below, send us a DM, or shoot us an email. We'd love to hear from you. We'll probably be off next week since it is Labor Day weekend. We hope everybody has a great Labor Day weekend. Again, subscribe, rate, review. Give us those 5 stars. Write that review on Apple Podcasts. I'm Scott for KJ and T-Bone. And remember,
little white ball is life.